Today I am sharing the unboxing of my new Spellbinders Betterpress with you. Plus, I'm sharing my thoughts on the Betterpress. Now, if you're new to Confetti and Cards with Lisa Mensing, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so when I share new content here on the channel, you'll be sure to catch it. Let's dive into this box. Okay, you guys, so I'm looking at the insert in this, and it has on this backside here, Spellbinders Clubs coming in July, Wax Seal Club, and the Betterpress Club. Now, I've yet to try the wax seals. I haven't jumped on that bandwagon, and I don't know that I'm going to. But the Betterpress Club sounds really exciting to me, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, I went ahead and flipped that over and was looking at the back side of it, and there's a full collection coming June 17th, which is now available. And I went ahead and I scanned that QR code. Now, when you scan a QR code, you're going to get a lot of information about the product. And you're going to see where to buy the Betterpress. There's answers and questions, product compatibility, tips and techniques, project inspiration, PDF user guide. There's an introduction to the Betterpress. There's videos on getting started, unboxing, tips, what the letterpress is, the plates are explained, paper explained, ink explained, and then it goes on down and it's going to tell you all the things that are in the box that we're getting ready to open, and then also how to better press. Just so many different things that you can find out just from scanning that QR code. So for me, though, I am more of a let's tear into it and let's just figure it out type girl. That's just who I am. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly move through this stuff and get to the part that I know you're most interested in, and that is using this thing. So here's real quick, a book is showing some of the things that are available for purchase now, which I did go ahead and order some more items to go with my Betterpress. I did receive a pack of the cotton paper. I'm going to talk to you about this paper. I received the Happy Birthday plates and dies set, which I'm absolutely loving. I think this is exclusive to this bundle because I didn't see it in the shop, or if it's there, I just happened to overlook it. Now, I received a re-inker in the bundle, and then, of course, I received a pack of 4 inks, which we'll talk about those shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to fast forward through me opening this up, and we're going to jump into opening up the Betterpress box. So while I'm unboxing this, I'm going to tell you real quick what all comes in the box. You're going to get the chase with the magnetic insert and 3 shims, the platen, exclusive Betterpress press plates, the Betterpress black mini ink pad, the Betterpress cotton card panels. You're going to get 15 A2 sized panels, and they're going to be in 3 colors, porcelain, bisque, and pebble. And then you're also going to get a small roll of the best ever craft tape by Spellbinders. So that's what's in this box, and you can see it all laid out here. So we're going to go ahead, now that you know everything you get in that box, we're going to fast forward and start to create with this. I'm super excited to work with it. So let's go ahead and do that. Laying things out to get started using the Betterpress, and let me tell you, I am so excited for it. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm more of a let's get this thing out of the box and get moving with it, right? But I am going to keep the directions sitting right over there to the right-hand side, just in case I have any issues while I'm working this process for the first time. So I have that gorgeous happy plate laid in the center of my chase on that magnetic insert. And I'm grabbing my platen. This is what's going to go over the top once we have our paper adhered to it. And I'm taking the plastic off of it right now. We're going to lay this flat. You can see it has an A7 and an A2 size, so that's going to help us center our card bases perfectly, right? And we're going to go ahead and start out by taking a piece of the white cotton cardstock and laying it in the center. And then I'm going to use the yellow tape to adhere this down, and then we'll go ahead, ink up the happy and run this through the machine. So while I'm doing this, there are a couple of things I do want to talk to you about. One of the things that I found that I absolutely love about this is it doesn't just stamp. Because the plates are metal, when you run them through the machine, it actually leaves texture. So it's stamping and imprinting that design into that cotton cardstock. And it is so beautiful. I was so blown away by how beautiful this is, and that texture that's left behind just does something to it that is just out of this world. Now, the ink that we're going to be using is, I watched a video on this and a Spellbinders video, and they said that this is actually archival ink and the formula has been tweaked to work with the cotton paper even better. So what they did was they just tweaked that archival formula so it'd be a little bit thicker and it wouldn't bleed into the cotton paper, because the fibers in that cotton paper, depending on the inks you use, it will bleed out, right? So they just took our favorite archival ink, tweaked it a little bit to create this beautiful ink, and they are going to be rolling out more colors of the ink with more releases. I'm excited about that because I really like these little ink pads. I found that they're very easy to open. The lids have this little lip on them that helps you just kind of push up on it to get it off. I found that to be helpful. I really liked it. Now, I like the size of these two because they're not too big, but they're not too small. So laying the ink down, I found, was very easy. So I'm using the pink ink that I got in my 4-pack, and I do believe it's called Wild Berry, but it is so beautiful. You're going to see it here in just a second. Now, once I have this inked up, I'm going to go ahead and lay that platen down over it. Now, this system is so neat the way they created it. It has those 4 spring points in each corner. And when you lay your plate down on it, it keeps your paper from hitting that plate until you run it through the machine. Now, as I was watching the video on this, they said, try not to push down on the clear plate while you're taking it to your die cutting machine to run it through. But I didn't have any issues with it, even if I pushed down on the plate to pick it up. I didn't have any problems with it whatsoever, but they do recommend not pushing down on that clear platen until you have it in your machine and you're cranking it through. So I crank mine through and then back through just because it's a habit, but you don't have to do that. Now I'm starting with no shims, and I had a great impression with no shims, but the next go round I decided to try it with the shims because I wanted to get that beautiful texture that you get when you do letterpress, right? I recommend using the shims so that you get that amazing texture. So we've talked about the ink. It's just an archival ink, and they tweaked the formula to work with the cotton paper. Now, let's talk about the cotton paper real quick. This paper is yummy, y'all. I'm not kidding. This is 118-pound paper. I am in love with it. I ordered more when I was ordering my plates because I really plan on making this something that I use a lot in my crafting, because not only can you stamp with this, but I even used my zig pens, which you're going to see a little bit later in the video, to color all of these gorgeous little flowers on the happy image. We're going to restamp that again in black so it really pops off, and we're going to make a card with it. The paper is so beautiful, and you can actually hot foil with it. You can tell I'm super excited about this. So it also die cuts beautifully. I'm loving this cotton paper. There's nothing bad I can say about this paper at all. It's just beautiful paper. The one thing I do want to tell you is, if you use this yellow tape, is when you go to peel it off, you need to be very careful with it, because it will rip that cotton paper if you're not really careful with it. So be mindful when you're removing tape that it is cotton paper, so it can tear that paper a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and run this through the die cut machine so that you can see how great this cuts. Now, one of the things that I learned about the plates for this system are they are thinner than hot foil plates. Yeah, I tried hot foil plates with it and it does work, but I think you get a better result with the actual plates for the system. That doesn't mean you can't use the hot foil plates, because I did, but I just think you get, like I said, a better result with the plate that was made for the machine. Also, they mentioned that the plates are a different color so that you don't mix up your plates. This is a great way for you to identify that this gray colored plate is for my letterpress, and then of course the other ones are dies or foiling plates, right? So I like that they made that distinction between them. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I ordered the bundle when I pre-ordered it, and it comes with a pack of 4 inks. This is the Nature Tone inks, and in that 4-pack, you're going to get Wild Berry, Tawny Brown, French Blue, and Saffron. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to be that crazy about the saffron, but I actually think I like it best out of all of them. And I am a pink girl, so that wild berry kind of grabbed me at first. But the saffron is such a beautiful color. Like, I was so surprised. Now, because I had stamped the happy plate in that wild berry color, I went ahead and stamped here from left to right. On the top row, we have the French blue and then the saffron. And then the bottom row from left to right, we have tawny brown and of course the black ink. So now we're going to go ahead and stamp again using the black ink. So this is the plate that actually comes with the Betterpress itself, and it is so beautiful. Like, I'm not a big floral person. You don't see me use florals a whole lot, but this has me changing my mind because this is stunning. So what I decided to do was I wanted to cover one of the A2 cotton panels with this design. And so I started by laying it, to cover the top right panel, quarter panel here. And I went ahead and inked it up with black ink because I'm going to do a black and white card. I love black and white. I just think it's so beautiful. So here I'm just kind of moving it around and adjusting it to get it to where I want it to be. It's one of the things that I love about that magnetic sheet or shim in there is that it's quartered for you. So deciding where to put things is super simple, and it just makes the life so much easier. I'm using the shims this go around. I'm using all 3 shims with this because I really want this to give me that debossed texture. I know I was calling it texture in the beginning, and it is debossing into the paper, but it does create some beautiful texture. I don't know that you'll be able to see it in this video, but you'll have to trust me on this when I tell you this is so beautiful. And oh my gosh, that texture is it's just amazing. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go ahead and stamp the whole panel. I'm using the black ink with this. A couple of things that I want to mention is that you can see it's hanging off the edge a little bit here, and I found that wasn't an issue for me because I have a little bit of wiggle room when I run this through my Platinum 6 machine. There's enough room. It cleared the machine with no problem. So if you need to, kind of play around, if you're trying to cover a whole panel like I am with this here, and it hangs off a little bit, it really was not a problem at all. Now, one of the things that I did was I ended up taking the magnet and flipping it upside down to pick up the plate from laying it on my cardstock. It's not a fail-proof technique yet, so I want to play around with that before I actually share that technique, because sometimes getting it placed exactly where I want it, even with that grid, I found with this was a little bit iffy because I wanted this to be perfect. I love the way that this turned out. I think it's so beautiful. I decided that I'm going to just add a hot foiled sentiment to this and add it to a piece of black cardstock to create a beautiful, clean, and simple card with it. So now let's go ahead and have a look at some other things, and then I'm going to show you the card samples at the end of the video. And right now I want to go ahead and show you how I colored the happy with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens on that cotton paper. Once I experimented with the whole system and getting a feel for how to use it and stamping with it, oh my gosh, it's so easy to use. I thought, well, you know what? Let's see what we can color with. I know a lot of people are going to want to color these beautiful images, and I myself wondered what could I use. So the first thing I noticed was this is a waterproof ink, right? So immediately my mind went to my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens. Works like a charm. So beautiful. And I found that I didn't have any problems using my pens and the blender pen with this paper. I also tried Copic markers. I wanted to know, how would my Copic markers do with this permanent ink? I didn't have any issues with it. I also tried ink blending with it. Again, no issues ink blending with dye inks over that ink. So I see a lot of options with this. Being able to color these beautiful, beautiful images. You can see there I had no bleeding with the ink. It turned out beautiful. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I tried this with a hot foil plate. So I have my hot foil plate laid out here, and I'm actually going to try this with Distress Oxide inks because, well, I need to know, right? So I'm going to start with Picked Raspberry, laying the ink down, and I'm going to tell you right away that the Distress Oxides on the hot foil plates do not take as well as the Betterpress inks do, because I actually do the Betterpress inks as well with this hot foil plate. But it works. It does work. Now, I want to say this. The result is not as wowing as using the Betterpress plates. Those plates are made to have so much beautiful detail, fine detail. So while this is a fun idea, it's not going to give you the wow factor that the Betterpress plates give you. You can play around with it, have fun with it. It didn't hurt anything. But again, if you're looking for that wow factor, I would stick with the Betterpress plates because they're amazing. I'm in love with them. I've never loved a product this much, but I absolutely love this system. So we're going to go ahead real quick and have a look at the end result here. It is a really pretty result, and I can see it being used to create some really pretty backgrounds, quickly creating backgrounds, but I think overall it's just not like I said, it just doesn't have that same wow factor that the other plates give you. So here's some close-ups of the cards that I created while testing this out straight out of the box. And I love this. It is so beautiful. I know you're probably like, yeah, Lisa, we get it. You love it. But I'm telling you, I've never liked a system as much as I like this one. And I'm so excited for what's coming for the holidays. So I hopped over to the Spellbinders website to check out some of the holiday stuff. I have to say they have a lot of Christmas stuff, but I'm really hoping they're going to show us some Halloween stuff because I love Halloween and I really want to play around with this with some really cool Halloween designs. So fingers crossed, we'll see some of that coming soon too. Here's the card that I created, and I used hot foiling on that cotton paper and it foiled beautifully. And then of course I colored all of the little flowers and leaves in on that card with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens. If you're wondering about this machine, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there and tell you it's a must in my opinion. I don't normally tell people yes or no or go buy this, but I'm telling you, this is a game changer. I love it. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments down below. I appreciate you spending time with me. I have products linked down below with affiliate links, so I will earn a small commission if you shop and purchase through those links. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. Until next time, please take care.